Alright, what's up, dudes? I guess this would be the third, Devblog type thing I'm doing. So yeah, I've done a bit of shit in the past, I think week or two. A lot of it has been mainly with like the player character and like visual effects and whatnot, or like screen effects and stuff. I've also got around to do got like a first pass of the radiation, I guess, system. Although that is not currently 100% complete to the point where it does stuff to you. But you do soak up radiation. So I guess I'll play it real quick and show you what I've been fucking with. Alright, so we're in, and you have the character breathing. That is part of this new effects component that the character now has, the player characters, not the AI. So he's got a voice, which will change the audio that's played based on some conditions, like mainly based on your stamina and some other stuff, like what kind of headgear you're wearing. Yeah, they'll randomly play sounds. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but like you just fucking sighed. I'm not sure if I like it, but it's a start. So we got some gas mask type headgear and some helmet headgear. So for example, with this effect system, all headgear can now have a like overlay to it. So for example, this gas mask has breathing and whatnot, and the face area, like a face covering. Not all of them are set up like this. I've only started a few just because I'm prototyping it. So we have the GP5, which has a different type of effect on its face. So that's pretty cool. I've also actually been playing with, for the item description, having a bunch of, like, RP lore, like, long text, so a cool face mask for nerds, you know, just like me. And then we got the, more statistical information at the bottom. So that could be helpful for quickly discerning if the item's actually good or not to wear or something. So that'll work, so that'll be for everything. So headgear, equipment, backpack, and all your weapons and shit, and your offhand item. Yeah, so we'll throw that off, because that gets annoying sometimes. I guess we'll go right into it. For the radiation stuff, so basically how all of my, like, actual level design shit, the objects being placed. So we have two different types of main objects. We have loot spawning objects, so like a base building class, which has the ability to spawn loot. Although my loot spawn system's a bit scuffed right now, so we're not gonna look at that. But suffice to say, there's that, and then there's just a basic static actor, which has no code or anything. It doesn't really do anything. And the latter, these static actors, can have a radiation value now, so potentially all the static objects in the world could be like irradiated. So we'll just walk up to this guy. So as we get closer, we've got this little visual effect telling us that, oh, you are being fucked up. It's kind of hard to see because this single object I think is like 1 microsecond per second, so it's like a low amount. But then we got a few of them like stacked over there, so we'll go to that real quick, and you can see the effect get really fucked up. So now it's a lot worse. And as you can hear, the audio system recognizes you're being like killed slowly, so now he's going to have a low chance of, instead of a random breath, he's going to cough or something. So the guy doesn't like that. I'll also have a, in your left hand, this slot here is a offhand slot. I haven't implemented any of that yet, but that is going to be for like devices which do interesting things that don't shoot people, like your regular guns. So for example, radiation detector. You will have your left hand held up, and then it'll tell you, you know, there's fucking radiation everywhere, if you couldn't already tell. So now we will throw on a gas mask. And as you can tell, the effect on the screen has now slightly diminished. It's kind of hard to tell. Does it diminish? I'm pretty sure I did that one. Regardless, the actual amount of radiation I'm soaking up now has reduced by a percentage. So let's drop this gas mask and put this respirator on. So it's a much less amount of stuff. So we'll put that. Let's put the GP on. This one's slightly better. So it was right there. This one is right there. Yeah. So this one's worse than the GP5 by like 10 points of whatever. And it's a modifier too. So for example, it's being reduced by, let's say, you can have 0 out of 100 in terms of the values for these. For radiation, for example, it's let's say 100 radiation protection. So this bar is full. That's, let's say, 70% reduction of absorbed radiation. So you potentially can't get 100% radiation reduction ever. You'll just reduce it to such a low amount that it's not really going to be too effective. But you still can't have 0 radiation absorbed near a radiation spawn. So it's going to help with maybe like making stuff a little bit more hectic when you are in a spot with a decent amount of radiation and you have good gear. You're still going to be soaking up some radiation, so you got to watch out for that. We need our mask if we're not nearby. Well, it doesn't do anything anyway right now, but yeah. So for buildings and stuff, I was playing around with interior design, so like placing objects and stuff. And I think I've come up with a decent density of objects for the interior buildings to make them feel a bit lived in, but not too cluttered that it's like impossible to fucking move. So you got on the ground, you got trash that's spread around. The corners usually have something. We'll check some other buildings out because this one's small. So we'll go to this big one. So a bit of a bigger barn that's had someone who's attempted to fortify it up. If someone's actually there in the game, who knows? It's probably going to be part of a point of interest. So maybe someone's living here, maybe it's not. Maybe it's been, like, you know, quote-unquote abandoned. So we'll go up a bit. Yeah, we're still nearby. The coughs are based on a little bit of math on the amount of radiation you're absorbing. So if it's over, I think, like 3.5 microsieverts, you've got a chance of coughing. On top of, I think just like a random number choosing between like 20% chance it either coughs or just does a random generic breath, like cough or like a sigh or like a breathing heavy. We'll run around for a bit too, and you can see that in a minute. Too tall. Yeah. So a lot of these houses are furnished like this. There's one more floor, and this one's a bit more got shit around it, I guess. I was also playing around with having corpses and stuff inside the buildings occasionally. So like this guy who was killed and left behind or something. With some dried blood look and stuff to make it look like it's been here for quite a while. I don't think this guy has a collision actually yet. I'm inside of him. Alright. As far as like loot items go, with all this clutter, it might be a little bit hard to discern at the moment. But I'm going to be reworking essentially the whole loot system because, like I said, it's scuffed as fuck, and it'll be pretty difficult to actually discern, is it loot or is it just a prop at the moment. So that'll be something to look forward to doing, or me to look forward to doing. So then we got this kind of building, which is a little bit more kept, and it's even got electricity on. So this could be potentially some kind of AI, either headquarters or just like strong point, or a place that AI are actively in, like being spawned in and actually managed and shit. So then you have your stock shelves and stuff, and that's cool. Sleeping areas. I'm not really sure about sleeping for the player yet. It would obviously fucking make sense that you could be able to sleep in past time if you don't want to play at night or day or whatever. I'll probably be going over that at a later date to see just how easily I can achieve it. The lights as well have a bit of like a little pulse animation, so you can kind of see it on the wall. Yeah, it's a little derpy. I just followed some fucking random 2-minute YouTube guide. Yeah, so the AI here probably will have 1 or 2 potentially static AI. So for example, a dude who sits on this couch and doesn't really move. Maybe he's not one of the dynamic AI, he's just literally a dude who just exists, always, and he'll give you quests and shit. I'm still undecided on how the quests are going to be when it comes to the dynamic AI. If dynamic AI will give you a quest and then it's tracked, it's going to be a bit complicated to despawn him from the world and then respawn him at a later date with to turn in your quest. So I'm still a bit torn on that, but we'll see how it goes here whenever I start working on that system again. Some more sleeping areas. Can I crouch and get down here? Yeah, not really. There's no fall damage too again, so I can still jump down and I like to jump off high places, it's fun. More building stuff, a little bit smaller of a random shed area. Move on, this one's kinda cute. So it looks like there's something up there, you'll investigate around, be like, ooh, how do I get up there? Oh, I'll just climb. So you climb up there and yeah, it's like someone's sleeping quarters, someone who's like post whatever event, bad thing. Get the, oh, there's rope, you don't want to look at that. And yeah, so that's a nice little, I guess, environment for the storytelling, more or less. I think these last two buildings are also the same. So they've been furnished to look like, oh, someone's been living here in this little shitty barn type area. A lot of these assets are from a select few artists who make some pretty good quality shit. And yeah, so the visual style is pretty consistent, even though there's a lot of different, like, I guess, asset packs that have gone into this. So it looks all fairly alright together. Some things look a little derpy, but, yeah. Alright, so aside from gas masks that have face overlays, also some of the helmets will. So we've got, you know, the typical Altian, the sick Russian, like police helmet or whatever, whatever. So that's cool. That gives some quite decent protection, as you can see here, for the head specifically. So that would reduce damage by, I think for the armor, I've got it set to like a maximum 100 armor value is about 50% damage reduction, just flat. For that specific body part if you get shot there. So this is quite a good helmet since it's covering like, I think 85% or 80 or 75 or something. So then you've got the down Altian, which has, again, a face covering because it blocks your view. So we'll pick up a camera real quick and just try and aim it. If you can see in the very bottom where my arm is, it's actually like a little bit transparent, slightly see-through, and that's kind of by design. So it doesn't feel as claustrophobic as you physically cannot see. So out of the corner of your eye, you could still potentially make something out, like those character models. You can still see them right where the hitch sign is, because there's an issue with that, but I kind of like that about it. I've been prototyping that a bit because, let's grab GIMP here. So yeah, so I've got these things I've just been tracing in GIMP. Like come up with like a so I draw like a basic circle with this shit right here, and then I'll use that to trace around and make some simple shapes. So this is like the GP5, and then we've got the overlay gas part, and then I've exported those and integrated them into like a pretty simple shader and like code combo. And there's just a basic respirator. I think it's actually literally this one, but I've done a bit of tweaking to it. Yeah, simple, but it works. And then same with the Altian, so that's cool. What else? I guess just let me full screen that. So now with the whole breast system, let's run out of stamina real quick by jogging around. A lot of these sounds are have a lot to be desired, but they get the point across, at least for now. So now my guy's, out of breath. That's basically linked to the stamina system. A lot of things are going to be linked to the stamina system. So, for example, if you get too irradiated to the point of, like, something bad should happen, instead of just taking, like, health away from the player and then eventually killing him because he's too irradiated, I might do something different. And, for example, if you're too irradiated, your stamina regeneration will be severely reduced. Same goes for health and hunger and thirst. I really fucking hate games that tell you, okay, you need you need food and drink or you'll die. But then, instead of fucking giving you food and drink, you just die, you know? So I guess DayZ is a pretty good example. Like, you start out and the whole intent is to, you know, make you struggle in the beginning to find food and drink. But that can get really tedious. Especially when it's an indie game that's made by a fucking retard and, can't really code very well, and, there's probably plenty of other fucking issues with this thing. But, yeah. So I don't really like that about some games. Sometimes it's okay in moderation, but I'm probably not gonna have, like, these status effects kill you. It's gonna be some other negative, just a negative thing happening. So maybe your vision will be impaired or something. Or you won't be able to run at all. Or you don't have stamina regeneration or something along those lines. Maybe add weapon sway if you're too, like, fucked up and hungry. Oh yeah, I forgot to fix that. It's only on the one camera, it's not on all my cameras. I can go third person, yeah. Alright, so that's something to fix. My post-process effect for irradiation is only on the first person camera. And weapons use a different camera. Now I'm not irradiated. I'm safe. Alright. I think that was like all I wanted to talk about, I guess. Throw the gas mask on, because that's probably the nicest thing I've done. The same actually applies for the gas mask briefing too, with the whole like character voice system. So I'll just go burn my stamina real quick, and list one more time, and then I think we'll be done. I've got the dialogue stuff too, but it's kind of scuffed, just like the loot, so I'm not really going to show anything about that. Here's all the bandit skins, I think, from that long-ass video. I just threw these together real quick, because I've got a bunch of character model stuff that I tore all apart and made modular. So that was fun to do. I think this whole effect is pretty decent, all things considered. The especially with the gas mask, it's really convincing with the gas mask on. The not gas mask sounds need some work. Maybe a little bit more variation, because you can definitely notice a bit of repetition after a while. I'm quite a fan of like that claustrophobic feeling you get whenever your vision's slightly impaired by something. So, for example, this gas mask, I've lost like 30% of my total vision. And it feels claustrophobic, which is, especially in tight spaces, it's a really good effect. And not to mention, when I stick all these like objects and add radiation to them around, on top of a Geiger counter you're gonna have, I might have it so that there's two different types of Geiger counters. Maybe one that's handheld, so you actually have to pull it out, so like a lower tier version. And then maybe one that you can equip that you don't need to hold to hear the effect, so you can still use a gun. Well, that's not entirely true. So, with the current animation system I have, like fucking like a year or two ago, whenever I was just screwing around with animations in the first place, I set it up so that I can have a one-handed weapon as well as a off-handed weapon at the same time. So at the moment I've only actually worked on two-handed weapons, but whenever I can have the items, whenever I actually work on the off-handed items section of the whole inventory system, I will be able to have a pistol and an offhand item. So for example, a flashlight will be an offhand item in this smaller tab. There's a little shitty weapon spawner that spawns random guns whenever I don't have any more referenced. So when they go in my inventory, they are deleted. So it's kind of like a getaway for me to test all my weapons. A bit derpy though whenever you're trying to look for a specific one though. Come on. Oh no, these when it's on your back it still exists. Bit of a weird way to do it, but it works. Yeah, I'm looking for a pistol. Here we go, finally. Okay, so for example, this pistol, you see your left hand, that has its own overlay animation that will be able to be played. If you look back at some of my older shitty videos, like ones that maybe are like nighttime flashlight, I think, you can see it sort of in action, where your left hand has like a loose flashlight that will look around based on where your character's head is looking on the left, on the offhand, and then you can pull a pistol out too and shoot it. Yeah, I don't think I haven't done a reload sound for that fucking pistol. God damn it. There's always shit that I forget to do. Fucking guns. Alright, I guess that's really it for this video. Simple update, I guess. So basically, TLDR, there's radiation now that doesn't do anything yet, but tonight it will do something. So maybe it'll blur your vision. Oh yeah, here's one more thing. So now when you get shot, I have a getting hit effect, so getting shot effect. So here we'll just play it a few times. So you get shot like that. Doesn't always play a voice sound. I think it's like a 60% chance to say something, 30% chance to silently take the hit. It's quite a decent effect, especially when you're holding your gun aiming and whatnot. So I'll just like... The actual voice sound kind of gets muffled by the fact the gun's loud as shit, but yeah. And again, the audio, the actual voice lines are a bit scuffed, but hey, whatever, dude. Yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna bask in the radiation while I, quote-unquote, edit this video by not editing it at all. Alright, thanks for watching, buddies, and I'll see you again soon.